Welcome to this ChessGuin opening lesson. In this video, we are going to look at two practical Ruy Lopez sidelines after a6 and bishop a4, the bishop c5 setup with knight e7, and the Schliemann-style f5 variation. We will first cover the bishop c5 line, and then look at how white can meet the delayed f5 setup with active central play. Let's first look at the bishop c5 variation. It resembles the Archangelsk variation, which we'll watch in another video, but here black has an extra option to develop the knight to e7. The castle is the most flexible response. We wait to see where black puts his knight. It goes to f6, and we move into the Archangelsk variation. We go for the c3 d4 setup. If it goes to e7, then we have the option for an interesting sideline. The main move here would also be c3. But for black, the winning chances are pretty decent in the main line, and it would lead to a more complex position. However, there's another option that gives white a simpler game, keeps the advantage, and still leaves room for mistakes for black. We can take on e5 and win back the piece with d4 fork. Black's only good move is to take the d4. We take back, and black needs to defend the knight on e5. This is the first chance to make a mistake, since we'll have an annoying threat in case of knight c6. Queen c3 is the important move, and f4 will come. And we will continue to chase the knight, because if the knight goes to g6, then f5 followed by f6, and if it goes to g4, then h3 and e5. We have the bishop pair, and we dominate the dark squares. The good way to defend the knight is d6. f4 comes again. The knight can't move due to the defendless g7 pawn. So black's only move is c5. Black can now decide whether to escape with the knight or trap the bishop with the c4. Black can't take the bishop yet because of e-pawn takes d6, and can't take on e5 either due to the unfavorable queen exchange. He can, however, interpose a check. Best way to give back the piece is taking on c4 to smash up black's pawn structure. And in the end, bishop c5 comes. We don't let black castle. In the case of knight c6, we make room for the bishop. We need to deal with the underdevelopment of the queenside pieces. But after that, we'll have good attack opportunities. I think this variation is a really easy solution against the bishop c5 knight e7 setup. Now, let's see our other topic. f5 is the Schliemann variation. Black offers the f-pawn in a bid for central control. This is not as popular as f5 on the third move, but delaying it until after playing a6 leads to some important differences, which an unprepared player may not appreciate. d4, and black's retort against d4 in Jaenisch Gambit. F-pawn takes e4 knight, takes e5 knight, takes e5 d-pawn, takes e5 c6. No longer comes with tempo on the bishop. The best continuation is e-pawn takes d4. Another move is f-pawn takes e4. We take the pawn back. Our plan is simple. We'll attack the e4 pawn with knight c3. Black can't really defend it with d5. After e-pawn takes d4, we play in gambit style. e5, and after bishop c5, we continue the gambit with c3. The other move for black is b5. Knight a5 is met with queen takes d4. Tari played bishop b7 against Duda on Norway Chess in 2020. Now we free up the a2 square for the bishop, because after knight a5, queen takes d4. c5, there is no queen d5 move anymore. Black could protect the pawn, but we have huge compensation. Weak black king. Better development. We have to try to open up the center. If black defend the pawn immediately, we open up the center here too. Due to the sacrifice, the knight comes into the game. Castle lets the knight go to d5, then bishop will go to g5. It's hard for black to develop his pieces, while white's moves are set. Bishop to g5, bishop to b3, rook to c1. Black's most popular move is to avoid knight d5 with playing d5, but it is even worse option. We play the same moves we planned and the d5 will fall. We got the pawn back and still have the positional advantage. You can find the full PGN material on ChessGuin.com. The link is in the description.